So, having watched the debate between Trump and Biden a few times through various live streams and commentaries and so forth, I thought I'd give some of my thoughts on it. So, overall, I think Trump won, and in pretty brutal fashion, honestly. People have been complaining that Trump was interrupting too much, and, maybe he was. I mean, I can't really disagree with that, but, he did basically do the same thing against Hillary.
Well, it did collapse.
That's called business, by the way.
9 perpetrated by the Chinese. I think it's real.
I did not.
I have thought about this quite a bit.
Yeah, for 30 years.
I have and how we can make it work again.
Well, he approved
3 million
NAFTA.
new jobs.
He approved
a balanced help to create more new jobs.
Well, you haven't done it in 30 years or 26 years.
Well,
any number you
I've
want
been
to
a senator.
You haven't done it.
And terms were laid out. I wrote about that in.
You called it the gold standard.
I hope.
You called it the gold standard of trade deals you've ever seen.
No.
And then you heard what I said about it, and all of a sudden you were against it.
Donald, I know you live in your own reality, but that is not the fact. But when it was negotiated, which I was not responsible for, it wasn't. I wrote about that.
So is it President Obama's fault?
Look, there
Secretary, is it President Obama's fault?
$1 trillion to the debt.
But you have no plan.
It's called Stronger Together. You can pick it up tomorrow.
That's about all you.
Folks,
At the books, million jobs, and explode.
You are going
debt,
to approve one of the
which
biggest
would
tax
have
cuts
a
in
recession.
history.
Charges and claims. And so
Facts.
we have taken because
and take a look at mine also, and you'll see.
I'm going to be blamed for everything that's ever happened.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, why not? For crazy things. Now, let me say,
there's nothing crazy.
It is money that's stranded overseas. I happen to
then you
support
didn't read
that.
it.
Proposed
Who gave it that
an
name?
approach
First
that,
ever.
and when you look at what
How much-
you are
how much for my
proposing,
family?
he didn't pay any federal income tax. So
That makes
if
me
he's
smart.
paid zero, that means zero for true.
So, for me personally, I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less how much he interrupted. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. But he mostly did it whenever Biden made some kind of personal attack or said something objectively false, which, happened quite a bit.
He has an answer for hurricanes. He said maybe we should drop a nuclear weapon on them. They may.
I never said that
That's
at all.
what he did say.
You made it up.
But whenever Biden would talk about something other than Orange Man bad or lying about what Trump has done, Trump pretty much let Biden ramble on. But seriously, what else could Biden have to talk about other than Orange Man bad? He can't really talk about the actual Democrat platform. Go check out my other Barking About Politics video on that subject if you'd like to know what I mean. But two of the Democrat agendas, Biden straight up said he either wasn't going to talk about or that he didn't support.
So my question to you is, you have refused in the past to talk about it. Are you willing to tell the American people tonight whether or not you will support either ending the filibuster or packing the court?
Whatever position I take on that, that'll become the issue. The issue is the American people should speak. You should go out and vote. You're in voting now. Vote and let your senators know how strongly you feel. Vote now.
Are you gonna pack the
Make
court?
sure you, in fact, let people know
He doesn't want
you're a
to answer the
senator.
question.
I'm not going to answer the question
Why would
because
you?
Do you
we're going to
support
build.
the Green New Deal?
Pardon me?
Do you support that?
No, I don't support the Green New Deal.
You don't? Oh, well, that.
So if Biden isn't going to talk about what Democrats actually want to do, then what else does he have to talk about other than Orange Man bad and a bunch of feel-good platitudes? So overall, I don't think Biden really said anything substantive. Now, you could probably say the same thing about Trump. But at least the stuff Trump was talking about were actual things he's accomplished or things that were actually true. Whether it was about the Supreme Court or his own taxes, the fires in California, or what's going on with mail-in voting. To me, the only thing Trump stumbled on was the question about condemning white supremacy. Granted, he did say he was willing to do that.
But are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
are you
I'm willing
prepared
to
to
do that.
specifically?
But I think Trump knew he was put in a bad position by the question itself. This whole white supremacy thing has been a running media narrative since even before Trump was elected. So, from calling Trump a white supremacist, or that he's rallying the white supremacists in the country with his dog whistling.
This is a president who has used everything as a dog whistle to try to generate racist hatred, racist division.
Which, none of it's true. I mean, there's a reason that Democrats and the media keep going back to what happened in Charlottesville in 2017, 3 years ago, because that's the only incident of actual white supremacy they can point to. So I think Trump knew that the question was a setup for the media. I mean, look at the contrast between when Biden refused to answer the question on packing the courts. Biden straight up said he wasn't going to answer it when he was pressed by Trump. But Chris Wallace just sat there and said nothing.
You should go out and vote. You're in voting now. Vote and let your senators know how strongly you feel. Vote now.
Are you going to pack the
Make
court?
sure you, in fact, let people know
He doesn't want
you're
to
a
answer the
senator.
question.
I'm not going to answer the question
Why
because
would you answer that
because
question?
the question is
Now, when Trump was asked about condemning white supremacy, now again, I admit Trump fumbled his answer, but both Biden and Chris Wallace were pressing him to answer the question.
I
go
would
ahead,
say
sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you
If
saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see
Well,
peace.
then do it, sir.
say it. Do it. Say it.
Do you want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name. Go ahead.
supremacists
Who
and
would
white
you like me to condemn?
White
Proud Boys.
supremacists and
I mean, seems rather biased to me. I mean, it's almost as if the question was there to get Trump to say something about white supremacy just so the media can run a story on it and keep their narrative going. I mean, I can imagine all kinds of headlines and stories they could run. Even if Trump gave a perfect answer to condemning white supremacy, I can see the media running something like, Trump condemns his own white supremacist base. How will his racist voters feel about this? Both Biden and Chris Wallace even brought up the Very Fine People statement. I mean, something that is demonstrably false.
Vice President Biden, you say that President Trump's response to the violence in Charlottesville 3 years ago, when he talked about very fine people on both sides, was what directly led you to launch this run for president.
Oh yeah, sure.
And accompanied by the Ku Klux Klan. A young woman got killed. And they asked the president what he thought. He said there were very fine people on both sides. No president has ever said anything like that.
Finish this.
It is his.
I mean, it's one thing for Biden to bring it up as he's playing off every media lie there is, but for Wallace to bring it up, someone who is supposed to be a bipartisan moderator, who is a registered Democrat, by the way, for him to bring it up is something, for him to bring up something so obviously a lie. I mean, how could this not be the media playing political games? So when this stuff is going on, I am not going to complain when Trump feels the need to interrupt these people and insert the truth and, try to stop their media smears. So, of course, as Trump pointed out, this was him essentially debating two people.
Healthcare plan.
Well, first of all, I guess I'm debating you, not him, but that's okay. I'm not surprised. Let me just tell you something. That
And in essence, the whole debate is what Trump faces on a daily basis. Trump combating the Democrat Party and the media while he represents the people pushing back against both of them. So I imagine there are a lot of people like me that didn't care about his interrupting because we see all the lies and the smears. I mean, it's the same lies we've been watching the Democrats and the media say for years. I mean, the debate in itself was basically a microcosm of the division in the country. Because apparently people still want a normal debate between these two parties, but that's gone. There is no chance for that anymore because there basically is no middle ground anymore to even have a debate on. I mean, the Democrats and the media have been trying to destroy Trump for 4 years. You think he's just going to sit there and let them do it in the middle of the debate? Of course, he's going to push back. I mean, just like America's pushing back. I mean, for crying out loud, Wallace brought up Trump's tax returns as a debate topic. Something no one cares about outside of the rabid left wing. Something they've been howling about for 4 years. So, I mean, it's obviously a setup. So, overall, I think Trump crushed Biden in this debate. I mean, he wasn't perfect or anything, but he did what he needed to do, which is fight back. And what was Biden doing? Telling Trump he's a liar. He didn't have a plan. He's a clown. The same tired stuff Democrats have been doing for years. Orange man bad.
People have to be made aware of what other people feel like, what other people feel like.
What other people feel like. What other people feel like.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. You can find more of my opinions over on my Minds page. You can also find me on Parler and Twitter. Links for everything will be in the description, of course. Thanks again, and God bless.